Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. It is 8 o'clock Pacific time. I wanted to start on time and kind of respect everyone's time here. I know we're all busy. Still got some more people hopping on, but welcome to the webinar. This is our first webinar with StudyKIK. Done quite a few webinars in the social media and clinical trial realm, but this one is pretty special because there's a lot changing in the social media world we're very excited about. So today we're going to reveal 5 proven secrets of social media success for patient recruitment. Now we're going to blaze through this content. So there's quite a few slides here, a lot of information. We will have a recording for those of you that can't make it all the way till the end or that have some questions and want to review it. But I will let you know for those of you that stay till the end, we have some special bonuses. We're actually giving away 3 different bonuses to help you with your social media and clinical trials, which is great. So a lot of exciting content. Also, we're going to have a nice Q&A session at the end. So save your questions, write them down, or you can even chat them to me in the chat box on the left, and we will answer them as well too, which will be fun. So it's going to be a great one. This will be about 45 minutes, maybe 15 minutes for questions. So we'll try to blaze through this and keep it nice and short and sweet. So let's get into it here. Very excited to be with you today. I'm going to teach you step by step exactly how we use at StudyKIK social media and how you too can use it for your site to find patients for your clinical studies. Now, just a quick stat average for site enrollment, 70%, most of you probably know this, 70% of sites fall behind on patient recruitment because of enrollment. So, I mean, it's a huge thing in our industry. I was just at DIA. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues right now. And there was a lot of talks at DIA about social media, how it's changing, patient recruitment, what companies are doing. So I'm going to reveal some of our strategies today, which will be very, very exciting. The key really that we like to focus on is to find quality patients because, I mean, we've been doing it for a while, posting on Craigslist, trying Google, different strategies for digital, but social media is a little bit different. What's nice is that it really allows you to laser target the patients you want because Facebook knows so much about their users. They know more about their users than the US government. It's kind of scary actually, but what's good about that for people in marketing and for people that are trying to reach their audiences, we can really reach out to the right people without violating their privacy, without actually knowing who their names are and where they live and all that kind of stuff. We can actually geo-target by their interests, and I'll kind of go into how we do that as well too. So also, and like I said before, we have some great bonuses for those of you who stick around to the end. So make sure you stick around. We're gonna actually have some giveaways that we're going to send to you via email. And just a warning to start off too, because there's a lot of buzz about social media, and we hear so much about social media. It's just a tool. I mean, there's so many different avenues. We're not, even though we at StudyKIK like to focus solely on social media, we're not a full service patient recruitment agency. We don't recommend, just shutting off all other advertising. But you will find that once you start to master social media, it's a very effective tool for your patient recruitment. So here's a quick overview of the secrets. One, we're going to show you how to target and what the best platform is for social media and patient recruitment. We're going to show you how to build a massive list for your study, how to build a list of subscribers that you can constantly tap into, how to go viral in a good way. So, when we talk about going viral, we're talking about in the social media, not the pharmacology sense. We're going to show you how to move patients down your funnel. That's huge. How do we take them from social media and turn them into actual patients that are showing up for clinical trials, right? And then also how to create a review machine. I mean, this is a very controversial topic right now, reputation management. How do you manage your reputation for your site? Because now with so many different, Yelp, Facebook, Foursquare, there's so many out there that, how do you manage a reputation online, especially with IRB regulations and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that. So here we go. Secret number 1, target the best platform. So what's the best platform for social media? Not all platforms are created equal. There's so many different, I mean, there's a new social media site popping up every day. There's Snapchat now, there's Facebook, Pinterest, I mean, you name it. So just some amazing facts before we get into it. Just to let you know, and obviously we're leaning towards Facebook. Facebook is the most trafficked website in the world. Yes, it just passed Google. So it gets literally the most traffic of any website out there. And an interesting fact about social media and Facebook is the fastest growing segment is 65 and older. You may not have known that. Social media is not just for the younger generation anymore. The fastest growing segment is 65 and older. So we do a lot of, elderly depression studies. We do OA studies, which you're targeting people 36 plus. Those are some of the most successful studies we have because they're people that are not inundated with marketing all the time. They're not constantly, they don't have ADD, and they're actually more prone to sign up for your studies. It's quite interesting. There's a big population on social media of that older generation. So it's really changing a lot of patient recruitment strategies. So, and just some stats here so you can see them and you can have this with you too. This is how many USA daily users there are daily. So 119 million for Facebook, Twitter's number 2 at 43 million, Instagram, and it goes down from there. So I mean, you can kind of see the strategy. And Instagram's actually coming up. We'll talk about that later in this webinar. But Instagram just got bought out by Facebook, so they are a big thing for acne and for some of the younger generation, which is good. So here is a social media referral chart. Now this means how much traffic was referred out to from Facebook to an actual website, or from Pinterest to an actual website. So the number 3 social media referral site is Twitter. I mean, they're a pretty big social media channel. Interestingly enough, Pinterest is number 2 at 7%, and then Facebook's number 1 at a whopping 21%. So you can see they are the dominant. I mean, they're almost a monopoly in this game. So if you have any doubt, if you have any question on where to start marketing your clinical trial on social media, definitely start with Facebook. It's the biggest user base. Again, it has that older generation, but it still has the younger generation on there as well. Now, the younger generation isn't as active. They're on Instagram and some of the other sites, but they still have Facebook accounts. So that's very important. And just also to let you know, because I hear some people say, oh, social media is dying, this and that. This is a SEO, and for those of you who know what SEO essentially is what Google uses to rank your website. So the higher your SEO rank, the more likely your website, your clinical website, will be found in Google. They just released this chart with the new Hummingbird update that said that social media has a huge impact on search. So every time, you could look at this chart, every time somebody shares something on Facebook, every time somebody comments on something on Facebook or likes something on Facebook, they're going to give you a nice boost in SEO rank. So you can see that social media is definitely not going anywhere. It's a big force to be reckoned with, and it's just going to keep getting crazier and crazier. I heard something that is I think 1.5 billion Facebook accounts worldwide now, which is huge. I mean, it's like almost 25% of the world population. It's absolutely insane. So it's a big deal. So start with Facebook. That's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is how to build a massive list. I mean, this is huge. Really, when we build a list, I mean, why build a list? Why not just advertise your clinical trial straight out? Say, hey, here's our clinical study. We're going to use our IRB approved text. Here it is. Sign up or don't sign up. It's really because it's all about building trust. A lot of people don't know what a clinical trial is. They might have a bad reputation about clinical trials, or something in their head that says, I'm a guinea pig, something like that. So it's all about building trust and building a relationship. And here's the fact that it takes an average of 7 to 9 points of contact before somebody will trust your company enough to do business with you. And that goes the same with patients. So they really need those points of contact to build that trust, especially they're coming in for some trial that they have no idea what it's going to do to their body, and they have no idea. So it's really about building that relationship. And here's a kind of little funnel that we use. So you can see social media is at the top, and that's kind of our tool. It's the best thing to start the relationship, to generate just awareness. Here's a little awareness. And what we do too on social media, we post a lot of inspirational things, things that help, get people interested and aware of what you do, but you're not necessarily selling your quote unquote selling your clinical trial yet, right? And then blogs and videos are kind of the next step. We do a lot of animated videos. We'll go into that later. Educate people on what a clinical trial is. Review sites, we'll go into that later too, which is huge. What do other users say about this clinical trial, or excuse me, about your clinical site, not the clinical trial, because we don't want to do that. Email marketing, and then actually getting them to the landing page to sign up for the study. So also too, I mean, really what I want to impress is that email is the core of what we do, because you can have a million, Facebook followers and a bunch of Instagram followers, but how do you convert them? The best way to do it is by getting them to sign up for your email list. And if you could see the accounts here. This is back when Facebook had about 750 million accounts. Email is still about 3 billion. So I mean, everyone has email, and frankly, more people are like to act. When people are on social media, they're watching cat videos, they're doing things that are fun, engaging, talking to their friends. When they're looking at their email, they're more of a business mindset to actually sign up for something and act. So that's kind of the middle part of the funnel there. So the biggest takeaway from that is do email marketing, and we'll show you how to do that in this presentation as well. So secret number 3 is to go viral. So again, we're not talking about the pharmacology term, we're talking about actually going viral on social media. And what does that mean? So basically, going viral happens when you receive free organic traffic from your followers, friends. So what happens, and why social media is so powerful, is because every time somebody likes, comments, or shares on something on social media, most, if not all of their friends will see that post. Especially if they share it, that means they are literally sending it to every single person that they know. So if I have 500 friends, that's 500 free impressions. And I'll show you the next chart. It's kind of how it works is you can see how something goes viral. And this is how a lot of our studies go viral is somebody will like it, somebody will see it and actually send it to a friend. A lot of times for Alzheimer's studies and some of the harder studies, we actually target caregivers, so that way the caregivers can kind of spread the word around the community as well too. So it's all about community building, and kind of trying to take your study viral. So how do we do that? The key is to stop selling. Again, instead of just saying, hey, here's this study to participate in, that's what I would consider selling, and to start engaging. Post more things, inspirational things, things that are educational based, things that help you are actually going to help your patients that aren't necessarily related to clinical trials. Also, if your posts aren't receiving likes, comments, or shares, your followers will never see your page. That's the other key, is Facebook actually has this edge rank algorithm, they call it, and all the social media sites do. So if you're not getting traction, they're not going to show it to any, if not most of your client, your people that are following you. So essentially, if you have, let's say you have 1,000 followers and you post something about your clinical study, and nobody likes it, it's probably only going to show it to maybe 20, 30 people. Now if you post something inspirational and they like it, comment, and share on it, it might show it to 1,000 people. It actually might go what we call viral, and show it to 2,000 or 3,000 people. So, and what that does is if you keep posting things that are getting traction and are getting likes, comments, and shares, the next time you post a clinical study, it will actually automatically get more traction and get more, and you already have the relationship with those people. So that's really the key, is to use that algorithm. And what we teach is a 75-25 rule. 75% of all of your social media posts, I would say almost even more now, should be engagement focused, not related to any type of specific clinical study. And then about 25% could be something related to actually getting them to act on what you want them to do. And also, something interesting too that you probably know is that pictures convert way better than text. So every single post you post on Facebook or any social media site should have a picture, if not a video now. I mean, video, if you've been looking at the videos, if you've seen your Facebook scroll lately, they're all videos. And Facebook has this little autoplay thing that autoplays the videos without sound, so people get engaged and get curious. So really focusing on video production is a huge part of the strategy, but at least post a picture, and always post some kind of call to action. Say, what you want them to do. So, for this, this is kind of a silly example, but for this cat, I mean, cats are the number one converting picture on Facebook. I mean, more people share it and like it than anything. So you would say something like, like if you think this is cute or something like that. You want to tell them what to do. So, I mean, obviously you want to keep it clinical related. So actually have a great example of a something that we're doing. I'll show you right now, but always make sure, if you're going to do any postings, seek IRB approval for any posts that have study specific information. That's a kind of a no-brainer, but a lot of people ask that question for social media. If you're going to post something that has study specific information, compensation, anything like that, you have to get that actual post IRB approved. Let's get into it, and I'll show you the example of the post in a minute, but hashtags are really the key here. So you can post something that's engaging, and if you have a small following, it might go viral, it might get some more followers for you. But really the key to finding new traffic for free, what we call organic traffic, are by using hashtags. And one hashtag, so example of a hashtag is hashtag best webinar ever. And what basically hashtags are sorting mechanisms. So when somebody posts a photo, they might hashtag hashtag asthma, or hashtag cancer sucks, or something like that. So what you can do is actually piggyback off those hashtags, and I'll show you exactly how we do that. What social media sites use hashtags? Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, every single one of them uses hashtags now, and they all integrate. And what also hashtags do is every time somebody uses a hashtag, all these social media companies save that in their database, so that we can actually target the users and find out what interests they have, what hashtags that they're interested in, which is also another sorting mechanism and a way that they're targeting better than Google or any other website can target. So the key is to find hashtag trends. What's trending in the clinical world? What's trending in your local area? And how we do that. Here's an example of how we did that for one of our posts. And this is huge for clinical studies and social media right now. This is an example of one of our many social media sites that we have. And if you notice, the site is called Asthma Inspiration. It's not branded with StudyKIK. There's nothing about StudyKIK. There's nothing about clinical trials. It just, here's an engaging post. Does your child have asthma? There's some common asthma symptoms and triggers. Something just to help a parent. We would targeting a parent. So obviously this is kind of like a pediatric asthma target, but it has nothing to do with clinical trials. And if you look on the right, there's over 12 comments. I think we had 74 something people like that. So every time one of those people liked that post, a lot of their friends got to see that as well too, and have hopped on and say, yeah, I agree. And if you see in the top right here, hashtag asthma sucks, hashtag asthma problems, hashtag asthmatic. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can target those users. And what people can do, they can actually, if you go on Instagram and try it, you can actually click on the hashtag. If you clicked on that little thing that said asthma sucks, it will pull up, I don't know how many photos are on Instagram with that hashtag, but if there's 1,000 photos, it'll pull them all up. And what users do is they'll start scrolling through them to see what other interesting photos that they would like, and then they'll click the little heart and like them as well too. So that's kind of how you get a post to go viral, is by really using the right hashtags. You don't want to blow your post up with like 100 or 200 hashtags. I mean, we're just talking about, I would say, 5, 6, 10 at the max. So you want to post the right hashtags. How do you do this? We use this is a research website that's actually a free tool. It's called webstagram.com/hot, and these are all hashtags. They apply to almost every niche. It's web.stagram.com/hot. It will show you all the trending hashtags, so you can actually research what hashtags are hot right now, which ones have a lot of traffic going, because you want to get the hashtags that have a lot of people on them. So that's a great tool for you to use for your patient recruitment. And a bonus, this is the first bonus that we're going to give to everyone on the webinar, which is great. We actually have done some research. I mean, we do this all day long. So we're actually going to send you a sheet of our top social media hashtags for patient recruitment for a couple different indications, so that you can kind of use them to kickstart your campaign. And I would just recommend, start using them in your Facebook posts. Start, if you have Instagram for your clinical site, start using them there. You can use them on Twitter, pretty much anywhere you want to. All right, so secret number 4, move patients down your funnel. So now we have a following, we've gotten a few things to go viral, we're getting organic traffic, we're building a community. How do we get these people to actually engage and sign up for a clinical study? How do you take them from Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest to actually become interested in a specific study? Here's how we do it, and here's what we would recommend. This is just an example of one of our study pages here. And if you can see the key where those red arrows are, those are the key things. Name, email address, and phone number. Those are the 3 forms that you want. So what we do is actually take, well, if it's a specific study, we'll take the IRB ad. So I would recommend taking your IRB ad, you put it on a landing page, and then have a little box similar to this, and have a sign up now or a submit button that's very, very clear. Now the key here is there's not too many fields. A big mistake I see a lot of clinical sites make is they ask for 10 fields, 20 fields. I've seen sites that ask for so much information up front that they're not that patients, I mean, each field that you add adds, I think it's like a 10 or 20% drop off rate. It's amazing. Even if we took phone number off and asked for name and email address only, that would increase the conversion rate hugely. So, but obviously you want phone number for your clinical study so you can call them and enroll them for your study. But the point is, I would keep it to 3 categories max: name, email, phone. Big sign up button, make it very clear, and then qualify them from there. The key is to get them qualified before they even see this page. You don't want just random traffic going to this page. I want to make sure that these people have the flu before they're even showing up here. That's really the key. And also the other key is building multiple landing pages. So each indication, each study, I would recommend having its own study page. And also a good note about this as well is this is mobile friendly. So what I've read an interesting stat that more people have mobile smartphones worldwide than running water. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's quite shocking that the amount of traffic that people sign up with on their phones now. I mean, people check their Facebook on their phones like over 10 times a day now. It's really out of control, and it's just the way of the world. People, some of these kids don't even have don't even have computers. They have their iPads and then they have their phones. So it's really changing the way we do business in the United States and worldwide. But the key is, so make sure that your each page that you have, and make sure your website, if you're running traffic to your website, make sure it's mobile friendly. And if you don't know how to do that, I mean, any good programmer will tell you it's a pretty simple process to convert that. Secondly, now that we've captured their email address, we've sent targeted traffic to a targeted study page with the IRB ad, or if you're just doing a general study information with no study specifics, that's fine too. So now we've captured their name, phone, email. So now what we do at StudyKIK, and what you can do too, is I'd recommend having some kind of automatic email follow. We use Aweber. This is so they automatically right away they get an email that says, Jerome, thank you for your interest in joining a research study, and then you can have your phone number there. And the key things here is, if you can see, it enters my name twice. It makes it very personal. People want to know that they're being interacted with by a real company. And what an email marketing software will do is actually insert, when they entered their name on that first page, it will actually insert their name into the email. You can insert in the subject line, you can insert it in the text, but that's huge. It really increases conversion with people that are actually going to trust you. Remember, it's all about building trust, right? And also at the bottom, there's a PS line. We always use PS lines. PS lines are one of the best tools for email marketing, because people always look at the top of the email and they look at the bottom. So when you're looking at the bottom, we usually drive them, you could drive them to Facebook, Instagram, whatever site you want to take them to. Say, like us on Facebook to be notified of upcoming studies, click here, and then they follow you. So that's another way to start building your social media following and keep that rolling. And then if you notice the top right corner, that's the time. I just wanted to point that out. The best time to send emails are, if you have a limited number of emails to send, are Tuesday to Thursday, early morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. If you can kind of time your emails out then to send them out, those are the best click-through rates and open times. So that's some strategies on email marketing. And then if you notice too, text message marketing is huge. So what you can do is have a little opt-in as well for their text if they want to receive a text notification. So what this is just an example of what we do for some of our SMS services. It says, thanks, you can enter their first name, for signing up for upcoming COPD studies. We'll notify you as soon as a new study becomes available. And then they can text stop and opt out. So it's an autoresponder. You can send engaging text to get them engaged with videos on YouTube, different things like that, or you can notify them of upcoming studies as well too. That's, I think, a big thing that's overlooked as well. And it's the same as the email marketing software. It keeps all these people in their own database, so that you can segment them. This is for the email and for the text. You can segment all these people, because now, remember, back to the landing page. Let me go back for you. This is for a flu study, right? So they opted in. We know they've opted in from this flu study. We know their geographic location, so we can actually segment this in its own separate list on the email and phone system. So that way we know if there's an upcoming flu study, we're not just shooting it to everyone. We're shooting it to the people that have that indication. Flu is probably a bad example because it kind of comes and goes, but talking about more about COPD and diabetes. So really, I mean, the key is the fortunes and the follow-up, right? Back to those 7 to 9 points of contact. It's about building trust every kind of chance you get. I mean, we know, you and I know. I mean, you get people that come in for leads on the internet. Sometimes they're signing up on your opt-in pages and your landing pages in the middle of the night, and you call them the next day and they don't know who you are. So it's about really about a numbers game, and more about an engagement game. It's trying to get your site branded in front of them as many times as possible before they even receive a phone call from you. That's the key. Back to building trust, like we talked about. So one of the best ways to raise engagement and retention, education. It's huge. So when we make videos, when we do posts, when you're doing email marketing, what do you post about? What is a phase 1 clinical trial? What's the purpose of a clinical trial? What do I expect during pre-screening visits? So getting them educated, because a lot of people, they won't answer their phone because maybe they're scared, maybe they just don't trust you yet. That's really the biggest thing. So, but if they get an email from you with a nice little, video or post about these different things that they have questions about, that's a huge way that we increase conversion for our sites. And if you haven't tried an animated video, I would highly recommend one. They're some of the easiest to produce and most fun things that the users like right now. I mean, they're these cute little things with the hearts and the people and different kinds. There's a million ways you can make an animated video, but if you haven't done one yet for your clinical study, I would highly recommend it. It will help increase engagement in education and conversion. It's a fun way to do it. One website we use is called Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and I think it's on the next slide. Yeah. So Fiverr, what Fiverr does is you can hire people. These are people from all across the globe, and people in the U.S., people pretty much anywhere that are freelancers. So you can usually pay $5 to have them create a video for you. Sometimes it's a little more, maybe 20, $30, but I mean we're not talking huge budget things here. Create a video for you. If you need a logo done for a landing page, if you need help making your site mobile friendly, I mean there's a million different uses you can use Fiverr, but it's a fun site. Check it out when you get a chance. Fiverr.com. So that's a tool that you can definitely use. Aweber is the tool that we use for our email campaigns. I would look into that. There's a million email autoresponder campaigns out there. And SMS marketing call loop is the one that we use. There's um, a million SMS marketing tools out there, but definitely kind of look into that. And these are all pretty low cost things for your site to use for this. So bonus number two, what we're also going to give everyone for being on the webinars, it's called free and dirt cheap tools for social media that the pros use. So it's a sheet that kind of includes all these different tools that we're talking about and some more that you can kind of look forward to and look into for using for your site. All right, so secret number five. This is one of the biggest questions we get all the time is, especially from on the sponsor level, is reputation management. How do you manage reputation, especially with IRB? And I mean, it's kind of a clinical trial nightmare. And how do we get people? Because people are going to write reviews no matter what. That's really the thing here. So how do we create a review machine of people that are patients of your clinical trial or patients of your site that are going to write positive or negative reviews about you? But the key is if you're not managing your reputation, then they're going to manage it for you. People are already writing reviews about your website, and if you're not managing it and you see something that violates HIPAA or some kind of clinical study, I mean you have to be on it to delete it. And that's one thing we're always on social media, is constantly monitoring comments, monitoring our different review sites and things like that to make sure there's no violation. So that's a big thing too. But if you notice, I mean, it's going to just keep growing and growing. This is Yelp mobile metrics. 68 million people are the approximate number of average monthly unique visitors on mobile for Yelp. I mean, it's huge. It's undeniable. And if you look, what the most interesting part, if you look at the bottom of this chart, if you look to the right, it says health and medical is at 32%. So 32% of the traffic is health and medical related. So it's not just, I mean, yeah, it's mostly restaurants and beauty and nightlife and all that kind of stuff, but health and medical is growing and continue to grow. People want to know when they're looking for a doctor, or if they're looking to participate in a clinical trial, they're going to go on the review sites. They're going to see, if you start getting slammed that, oh, it's a dirty site and the employees don't treat you well and this and that, they're not going to show up. So managing your reputation is huge right now. Again, if you don't manage your reviews, your patients will manage it for you. So one word of caution before I get into the strategy, a couple strategies that you can use, is that Google and Yelp and all the sites know if you make fake reviews. So do not do it. They will penalize you. They will, not necessarily shut your account down, but they'll put a little stipulation on there that, hey, these guys are making fake reviews, like don't do business with them. So, and they're very smart on how they track it. They can track your IP address. There's a lot of tools that they don't tell you about, that they know how that to tell if you're writing reviews or not. So don't do it. So number one, I mean, this is a simple one, but ask your good patients to write a review for you. And you could do this in an email follow-up. You can do this in a text follow-up. You can do this just at the site level. If one-on-one, have your receptionist just ask your good patients, hey, you don't have to say positive or negative review. Just say, hey, would you mind writing a review about our site? And again, you have to manage it and make sure that they're not revealing, and tell them when they're writing any type of review that they can't, please don't reveal any personally identifiable information, et cetera, et cetera. Video testimonials are priceless. If you can get your good people actually, bring a lot of sites I know actually have a little flip camera, or even just do it on your phone. All the iPhones have HD now, so what you can do is just do a quick, ask them for, hey, would you give us a 1 minute, what you liked about the site, or how your experience was at our site. Take that, upload it to YouTube, and you can use that for Facebook and really a strong branding for your reputation management. And again, remember, do not disclose. Ask them not to disclose any personal information or study specifics in the video or any reviews, just to stay in line with IRB and HIPAA compliance. Just need to stress that. So the more aggressive strategy is, most people need an incentive to write a review. They're not gonna just, people, they'll, even if they say they'll do it, they're gonna go home and they're gonna forget. They really need something that's gonna say, hey, like, thank you for writing this review, and push them a little bit to do it. Now, the key is, do not ask them to write a positive or negative review. Don't ask them, don't just say write a positive review, just say ask them to write a review. And here's an example of something you can do as a sweepstakes: win 2 baseball tickets for writing a review about us. So that's something a lot of sites could do. And it's not positive, it's not negative, but you're asking them to write a review about you. If you have a fan page or a patient email list like we've been talking about, that's why, another reason why building these massive lists are so important. If you have a nice fan page, a nice Instagram account, or a patient email list, even more importantly, you can actually blast that out as the promotion and direct them with a link to your Google Plus or Yelp page. That's literally the best technique out there. Now, Yelp, I would be a little bit careful, because Yelp filters reviews a lot of times. So if your patients don't have an existing Yelp account out there, then they create a Yelp account to actually write the review, it's going to get filtered right away. So make sure you kind of let them know, if you have a Yelp account, you can write it. If you don't have a Yelp account, do Google Plus. And here's another quick tip: if you can get 5 reviews on your Google Plus page. Obviously, Google owns Google Plus, so if you can get 5 Google reviews on your Google Plus page, it's a proven increase in rank in SEO. And again, SEO is increasing the rank of your website when people search for search terms online. So I would shoot for that. Get 5 Google reviews, you'll get a nice little boost in SEO rank. So these reviews will boost your site credibility and patient trust. It leads to quicker enrollment of your clinical trials. I mean, patients are going to go on these sites no matter what. So it's better that you manage the reputation yourself and stay on top of it to stay in compliance as well too. So ultimately, with all these strategies, the goal, I mean, as we all know, is to have therapies get to market faster, so that we can help these patients to get them there. So that, I mean, there's so many patients on social media now. I mean, it's really astounding. Like I said before, there's about 1.5 billion Facebook accounts worldwide. So it's something we can't ignore, and we believe that this alone is changing the face of patient recruitment as we see it today. So we're very excited about all of this. So when leveraging the power of a strong social media campaign, the more patients have the ability to find clinical trials than ever before. I mean, it's really changing everything. Again, Craigslist and all these different types of social, or of different digital sites, they're not targeted like social media. They're not interactive. You can't go viral. It's harder to list build. There's a million reasons here. And StudyKIK, as some of you know that are already on StudyKIK, we allow patients to easily search and find clinical trials through our website and then through our social media channels. The best part is StudyKIK, everything's kind of done for you that we're talking about here. We have existing patient communities already built. We actually have the largest asthma page on Instagram right now, which is great. We have the largest arthritis page on Instagram as well too. So really, we're changing a lot of strategies there, which is exciting. We already have every single study page that goes up on StudyKIK is already mobile friendly. It already has the built-in autoresponders. It already has the email capture and follow-up, and which is really important. So just wanted to stress that it's really changing the face of patient recruitment. We've been able to connect to thousands of patients through clinical trials through our social media process. So we're really excited about it. We're really excited that this is changing the face of patient recruitment, and glad to be on the ride. So I wanted to give you one final bonus, and then we'll go into a little Q&A. Again, for the Q&A, if you have any questions, you can type them in the left there on the bottom left, and then I can see them and pull them up there. We'll do a little Q&A at the end here. But we saved the best for last, and this is only for guests on the webinar. I really want to thank all of you for being on the webinar today. I know we have some sites. I see some familiar names that are already listing studies with us. And some sites that have not listed studies with us before as well too. So wanted to give you something nice to take away with today, including the other 2 bonuses we're actually going to send you via email. So those will be coming to you as well. But something that, if you want to take advantage of this is a huge offering, one-time offer we're doing just for today. We're going to offer you, we're giving out 2 gold studies. And if you don't know what a gold listing on our site, basically we're going to show your study to a minimum of 10,000 potential patient views. So depending on the indication. If it's a bigger indication like COPD, we'll probably show it to a lot more. But we have different database numbers, so we're going to show it to about half of our database in your area, in your localized geographic area. And we also use our filter targeted for each indication. So we'll take, if it's a study specific, we'll take your inclusion exclusion criteria and show it to only those patients that fit that criteria. And we're going to show it to a minimum of 10,000 patients. So that's something exciting. And then for the study that you'd like to select, you can either do a study specific if you already have an existing IRB ad, or if you want a database build for an upcoming study, we can create a more general study ad as well too, and then run traffic to that. So it's kind of up to you. But so for this, there's just a couple things that we're going to give you. We're gonna give you 50 qualified geo-targeted Instagram followers for any indication of your choice. I mean, this ranges from oncology, asthma, diabetes, COPD, but we at StudyKIK we'll build out. If you don't have an Instagram page, we'll build the Instagram page out for you. It could be for your site, it could be for an indication, but we're going to make sure that these Instagram followers are geo-targeted just to give you a nice little kickstart on your campaign. So that's a huge bonus. We're really excited about that and hope you take advantage of that. We're also going to roll out SMS text message follow-up for every single one of your studies. So for whatever studies you select for the gold listings and any other studies that you might have with us, we're going to actually implement a text message follow-up system so that every single patient that comes through will actually receive a text message with your site phone number so that they can call for the study to help you increase the conversion rate. So we're super excited about that one as well. And then also we're going to give you $150 off the total price of the gold listings just for today. So which is nice little bonus just for, we don't usually do discounts or anything like that, but that's something fun just for being on the webinar. We really appreciate it. So this is today only. To claim it, you can go to StudyKIK.com, click list your clinical trials, and select 2 gold listings. And then I'm actually can post the link here for you can, if you look in the top left, there's a little link that you can click. So what you do is you select 2 gold listings at the bottom when on that page, and then enter the coupon code KICKSTART, KIKSTART. And again, this is only the link's only going to be valid for today, so make sure you take advantage of that. If you have any questions, feel free to call us, on what indications you're thinking about and things like that. But it's a great bonus. We're gonna include the Instagram followers, 50 followers, so to kind of kickstart your social media campaign that you own, and then also include that SMS text message marketing. So thank you so much for being with us. Let's go into a little Q&A. Again, got some questions already. Keep typing your questions if you have any questions about the strategies, social media, Instagram, how does that work? What is Twitter, Pinterest? I know you guys have a lot of burning questions, so let's get into it. All right, one question we have here. Let's see. Okay, Graham, do you cover any non-US geographies? That's a great question, Graham. We right now are focusing at StudyKIK on the US and Canada. Obviously, there's a lot of room for growth. I mean, patient recruitment's an international thing, but I mean, for social media, I would highly recommend. I would highly recommend actually doing social media for worldwide. I mean, most countries allow Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. There's actually a chart, I might be able to send it to you, Graham, that actually has a list of what countries allow certain social media sites and what countries don't. But I mean, this pretty much applies to any country, and you can target on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram. You can actually target by country and by geography. So it's definitely a huge strategy. I would highly recommend that. And I know, just as a side note too, China has it's really coming up strong on Facebook. They're actually the second biggest social media site in the world besides Facebook, and they're coming up strong. They have such a huge population, so that's going to be big. But what's interesting about China is only China people that have an actual residency in China can create an account there. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Where do you typically find content for your posts? It's a great question. What's nice about social media is there's not as much. So in Google, if you're going to post something on your website, if you're going to post a picture, it usually has to be, you have to buy it from iStock. You have to find, if you're going to post anything, you can't do duplicate content because Google penalizes you for it. What's nice about social media is the penalties aren't as strong. So usually, if you find something, as long as from some other site, as long as you give the credit, you can post it on. If you find it on Facebook, you can share it and post it on Facebook as well too. So that's really the short answer. Pinterest is a great place to find content. There's a lot of cool content on Pinterest. There's different little what do they call them? The images with the different stats and things like that that people like to see. So that's that's one idea. Another idea is to find a content creator. We have an in-house graphic team. I know some of you have in-house marketing and graphic teams that are pretty easy to pump out, videos and graphics and things like that. If you don't have an in-house graphic team, do Fiverr, Fiverr. It's a huge site. I'm gonna post that again on the right here because that's huge. And a lot of these graphics can be created for pretty relatively low cost. And Dora asked the same question. Do you have any, a similar question? Do you have any resources to find inspirational slash educational content for Facebook? Finding content's been, yeah, just content. Yeah, I get that question. I mean, it's so hard to create the content. There are some free content, or excuse me, free image creating websites. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I know a lot of our social media team uses different websites to kind of create. If you've seen memes as well too, memes, those are really fun and really funny to post. They're usually an image, like a huge image with a little white text box in the bottom. So those are fun. There's like a meme creator. Like look up, just Google free meme creator, and you can usually find one of those as well too. So, some more questions here. How do you, Matt asked, um, how do you target your filter system using social media to ensure that patients that come through are qualified for the study? Okay, it's a good question, Matt. So, what we do is we have a targeting software that allows us to go in the back end of different social media sites. And so once we build our patient communities, and what like you can do once you've built your patient communities, you can actually filter based on not only age and geographic location but also on interest. So we use those hashtags that we talked about earlier, and hashtags are really the key here, using the right hashtags to target the right people. And we'll actually take, when we get a study, we'll take the inclusion exclusion criteria of that study and enter as much information as we can. If we know it's an OA study, we'll do 35 plus. If we can do hashtag knee pain, we could do hashtag pretty much anything to make sure. And what a hashtag really designates too is if somebody comments or shares on something, if they say, hey, I'm interested in knee pain, or I'm following so if they mention knee pain in a comment, like an actual comment, basically Facebook or Instagram is going to keep that in a database account, and we can actually go in and filter just to target those people. It's pretty interesting. So, okay, another question. Samantha, hi, we have a Pinterest account, but growth is slow. I use hashtags and, of course, imagery, but not sure if you have any other tips on increasing our number of followers. Samantha, I have a lot of tips for you. Maybe I might need another webinar for this one, but I'll give you a quick tip. Pinterest is obviously, as you know, great for targeting women. So if you're doing any women's studies, it's huge. But one key thing you can do to get your Pinterest account to go viral, a lot of people do, is a sweepstakes. And sweepstakes essentially kind of back to giving away something. Could be something local like baseball tickets. Could be an ebook, could be a number of things. But what you really want to do is give away something that people will find valuable. And in order to enter that giveaway, and don't make it clinical related, because we don't want to incentivize people to enter clinical trials. This is just to get them engaged in your actual Pinterest account. They have to do three things. They have to follow your Pinterest account. And you can say this on the rules there. They have to follow your Pinterest account, and then they have to share the actual post with all of their Pinterest people. And you can apply this to Facebook as well too. It's pretty much any social site. That's kind of the formula. You have to follow it. Oh, excuse me. Follow, email, enter your name and email. I would create a little landing page on your website that has an email capture, because again, the key here is we want to capture email so that we can notify these people of any educational videos or any upcoming studies, things like that. So they have to follow you on Pinterest, they have to enter their email address, and then they have to share the actual post with all of their friends. So that will get it to go viral, because what happens when you do that is now when they're following you, all their friends see it, and when they share it, more importantly, if they have 300, 500 friends, all of those people see it. Now let's say 10% of the people enter the sweepstakes as well because they're interested in winning that item. They will follow you, they'll enter their email address, and they'll share it. So that's kind of a cool way to get it to go viral, and you want to kind of keep it as localized as possible. Okay, great. That's a good question, Samantha. Thank you. All right, well, let's take one more question. Uh, let's see. Graham, who is responsible for maintaining IRB compliance of the posts and responses? That's a good question. I just read an interesting article on social media and the IRB, and the IRB is really, they're having trouble, really regulating and getting into it because it's such a new thing, and they can't stop people from sharing content, right? Because that's what these sites are all about. They're about sharing content. So, I mean, really, I think the general answer is I would take as much ownership as possible. If anything that is posted on your website or your review sites, even though it's on Yelp and it's not technically your site, I mean, I think you're technically responsible as a site. So we at StudyKIK, I mean, that's part of the deal is reputation management is trying. We have somebody at all times on every single website. I mean, we're on it in 5 minutes. Like if we see something that could be anything potentially IRB or compromising the study, we're deleting that right away. So it's really up to you as the site to make sure that everything you do in social media is in IRB compliance. I think that's a short answer to that. Okay, we'll take one more question. Denise has, I'm trying to target females in our area for a certain study other than TV or radio advertising. Do you have any suggestions? Well, Denise, I'm gonna say social media. But I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. I'll give you some tips on social media. One thing, we at StudyKIK we do a lot of hot flashes, vaginal discomfort, doing a scar study. I mean, there's a lot of different areas that you can target for women's health. And what's great about social media is that it's a little bit more leaning towards the women dominant side. Women are more just more naturally social. So I mean the women's studies tend to work pretty well on social. So I would start, if you're going to start on social media, obviously again back to Facebook. Do a study on Facebook targeting women. And actually, the biggest segment on Facebook right now are I think it's 35 to 45-year-old soccer moms. So I mean, it's huge. Like they're that's literally the biggest audience on Facebook right now. So that to target for those studies, I think Facebook would be a perfect match. What you can do too is when you post the study on your page, especially if you don't have any followers yet, you can, at the bottom right, it says boost post. You can actually click, it says boost, and you can target a new audience. And again, you kind of keep it geo-targeted and target your post. And obviously, if you're doing this as well, you can post it on StudyKIK too. We have so many different indications for those pages already built out, which is great. So. Okay, well, I think that's all the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for being on here. Don't forget to take advantage of that Kickstart package today. That's for people who haven't listed with us before. If you already are listing, I mean, it's a great promotion we're running with the Instagram followers and the SMS marketing, everything. So we're really excited about that. So hope you take advantage of that. That's only available today. We will be sending you the follow-ups as well too for the two other bonuses by email. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Stay tuned for the next social media webinar. We have a lot more to come. And thank you so much for being here. I'll leave this page up for a second. This is my contact information if you want to take it down. That's my email address. That's my direct line as well too. And I will try to get back to you as soon as we can if you have any other further questions. But thank you so much.